creative friends. I experienced a little bit of stress lately, all with the positive outcome, thankfully. But I'm really ready to just let loose in my art journal this time. And because I haven't actually painted in a little while, so it's really overdue. So I'm going to do a little bit of a new page in my larger A4 art journal here. And I already have some paint on my pages here from, I think I was experimenting with a jelly plate or some stencils, I can't quite remember, but basically a little bit of leftover paint to get me started. And I'm just going to cover the page with a bit of yellow paint using my brayer, which you know, you don't always use in and out straight into an art journal, but why not? You know, you can just put a bit of paint and just spread it around very easily with your brayer, just like so. So I may have put a little bit more paint than I actually wanted, so I'm going to put a bit of the extra on my other page here. I'm actually going to concentrate just on the right one for now, but the left one, you know, can be done later on. So I'm just spreading my paint here, and because I've put a little bit too much, I'm spreading the rest of it on a piece of deli paper as well that I can reuse later on. And then I'm going to grab a little piece of kitchen sponge that is laying around in my drawer, just a little piece of sponge, basically a large one that I cut into little squares, and I'm going to use it to spread the paint around a little bit, and also to spread the paint all the way to the edges where I couldn't reach with my brayer. So this is all I'm going to do for now, and then I will let that dry. Okay, so that's my page pretty well covered now, and I wanted to make sure I could still see the pattern below that I originally had. I didn't want to lose all that lovely texture. So I'm going to dry this page. It's not going to be recorded because it's a little bit boring. And then I'm going to add some extra colors. So I'm going to start with this dark pink, which is almost a red, and this time, as you can see, I'm being a little bit more cautious, so a bit less paint. I don't want to cover the page completely again, and I'm just spreading it around in a random pattern, you know, just having fun with it really. And again, if I've got any extra paint on the brayer, then it will come off on the page on the left. And again, I'm going to dry this off with the magic of video editing. Poof, it's dry. And now I'm going to add a bit more texture, but a bit more subtle texture, thanks to a stamp and a little bit of ink. Okay, my page is dry now, but it's looking a little bit dark, so I'm going to use some white acrylic paint to brighten it up a little bit. And as always, or as often I should say, I'm going to spread the paint with my fingers, which feels a lot better than using a brush. If you haven't tried this yet, I really definitely recommend just leaving your brushes aside for a little bit and try to spread the paint with your fingers. You know, you will feel a lot more in tune with your body rather than being in your head as much. So I recommend it. You know, after seeing all my videos, you must know how much I love, you know, feeling like a kid and spreading the paint like this. Okay, now that everything is dry, I'm going to add a bit more yellow because it feels like it needs a little bit of brightening up, but just subtle this time. I'm not going to do big patches, just little one here and there with a bit of yellow paint and a little bit of white paint as well, just using my fingers. So all I'm doing is dipping my fingers in the paint very lightly and then just tapping the page with my fingers. So not, it's not rocket science. It's very simple, and I'm not trying to do a specific pattern at all. I'm just tapping it around and spreading it just to do little clusters of color. Something I haven't used in a while but I actually love, and I don't know why I haven't used it in ages, but that's modeling paste. And I think I've just put it away somewhere on my little cart in the studio, and I completely forgot about it because it wasn't in sight. It's kind of hard as a mixed media artist to have all our supplies in front of us so we can see them, because we have more than just a few, don't we? You know what I mean? So yeah, it was out of sight, so I just kind of forgot about it. But I'm going to use it now and add some lovely and very delicate feathers on my page, just as if they were floating around the page here. So I had to use my hairdryer to speed things up because I'm not very patient, and everything feels okay now. So I'm going to use some ink and a handmade stamp to add a bit more texture and a little bit more contrast. Now if you want to learn how to make your own stamps, and I recommend it because it's so much fun and it's quite addictive, and it allows you to create your very own designs that no one else has. So obviously it makes your art really unique. Then I run a workshop online that you can take. It goes for 3 hours and it's for complete beginners. So I go through everything step by step. It's very simple and easy to follow. So if you're interested, just check out the link in the description box. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me about it. So I'm just adding a bit more texture with this stamp. And then, I'm using a dark purple here. I didn't want anything black and too contrasting, but I still wanted something to stand out a little bit. And now for my final touches, I'm going to repeat this stamping process again with ink, this time in gold, so it's very subtle and barely there, but still visible when you move the page around in the light, with another handmade stamp. This is one of my favorite designs. It's quite subtle and detailed at the same time, without being, without bringing too much attention when I use it, basically, if that makes sense. It's quite abstract. So I'm going to use it and stamp it all the way around the page, including on top of the feathers, just to unify everything, but in a very subtle way. Okay, well, I'm happy with this page for now. Okay, it's not my favorite page ever, but it's achieved what I wanted to achieve, and that was to release some stress and just let loose in my journal, and that's what my journal is about really, is just experimenting and just, you know, letting go. So this was fun, and I've used colors together that I don't normally use very often. So that's something a little bit different at least. I hope that you've enjoyed watching this video and that you will give it a go yourself. I certainly would love to see what you create.